Hey guys, this is my name's Shane Dill. I'm doing my individual professional presentation on employee evaluations. I picked employee evaluations, uh, plain and simple, just because I deal with it day in day out. With my current job. Um, just to kind of tell you a little bit more about me is I'm a production manager of a large manufacturing facility. I have roughly 100 direct reports. I have 6 supervisors that are a salary level. Um, I'm sorry, I can't really talk. I've got a cold or something. But each one of those supervisors has roughly 20 people that's reporting to them. Um, in the in I That just goes back to the fact that I picked employee evaluations because not only do I do it, on a regular basis or something that I'm very involved in, it's also something I'm very passionate about. And the reason why I'm passionate about evaluations is because, I contribute past evaluations that have been given to me. I contribute that to my success that I've had in my career. I think it's important for the employee to know how they can better themselves, and it's just as important to the corporation that you work for, the company that you work for, to build a strength within their team. And to me, that's what the evaluation is there for. That's what it's meant to be, is a building tool. I think, and the evaluation, if they're done right, they're done ethically, and they're done, they're delivered correctly. I think that is the strongest tool that a manager can keep in his tool bag. No doubt about it. Just to kind of get started, introductions. We're going to be going through the definitions, the purpose of the evaluations. I got an outline of the historical events of how evaluations have evolved. We're going to go through ethics. What are they? Discrimination laws, and then we'll have a wrap-up conclusion. So the definitions of employee is one employed by another, usually for a wage or a salary that's in a position that's below the executive level. So an employee can't be an employee if you own the company. You're the man. The evaluation, to determine or fix the value of, or to determine the significant worth or condition of, usually by carefully appraisal and study. Careful appraisal and study. Ethics is a rule of good behavior based on ideas about what is morally good and bad. So the purpose of the evaluation is the performance evaluation is a constructive process to acknowledge the performance of a non-probationary career employee. An employee's evaluation shall be significantly specific to inform and guide the employee in the performance of his or her duties. Performance evaluation is not in any way of itself a disciplinary procedure, and that's important. That if you're out there, or you're in that management position, or you have direct reports, if you're going to get along at any one point in time, this had better be the time that you're going to do that, because you have got to get buy-in from these people that you're evaluating, because you want to turn it into a positive experience. You don't want to have a negative evaluation experience. You could still deliver hard to deliver information positively, and you can make that a good experience without ever having to be a bad experience, if that makes sense. So kind of go through the outline of evaluations, how they became. In the Tang Dynasty, we had the 9-rank system, and then that evolved into the imperial examination that was Imperial China until 1905. It's quite an amazing long run. In 1855, the British government adopted a similar testing system as the Imperial examination. And then, how it came to the U.S. in 1883. It was the U.S. established their own testing program for certain government jobs, and that kind of evolved from what they seen from the British government. That then came from the Imperial Chinese. So it quite an interesting outline or turn of events. So from 618 to 907, the Tang Dynasty had the 9-rank system. And the Tang Dynasty was developed into a method of classification for civil officials and military officers serving in the court, from local level to a national level. But the problem is only the rich and the powerful were selected to be evaluated. I mean, it was that they had a very select group of people that, were even able to be selected. So that was abolished about mid Tang, and the Imperial examination was from mid Tang to 1905. The Imperial examination was a civil service examination system in Imperial China to select candidates for state bureaucracy. The exams were knowledge-based, of the classics in the literary style. They were not technical expertise. Successful candidates were generalists who shared a common language or culture, one shared by even those who failed these examinations. So in 1855, the British government adopted a similar system screening civil servants. So how did that come about? So that came about through European missionaries and diplomats encouraged the East English India Company to use a similar method to select employees. Now, following the initial success of that company, the British government adopted that similar system. In 1883, the U.S. established the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act. It was a federal law established in 1883 that decided that government jobs would be awarded on the basis of merit instead of political affiliation. Through this act, the United States Civil Service Commission was born, and it remained into effect until 1979, when it was dissolved into the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978. Ethics helps people differentiate between acceptable and unacceptable behavior, between just and unjust. Ethics is it's a natural ability. In some cases, in most cases, it's a natural ability to focus on what ought to be the case rather than what is the case. It's kind of quite funny. I was doing some research on this, employee evaluations. I knew what they were, but I never knew legally what they were, or where they came from, how did it evolve, or anything of that nature. So I've actually found no actual laws to the state or federal level that explicitly govern how an employee review should be carried out. I was amazed by that. I did find, there are discrimination laws that prevent you from the manager or the supervisor from discriminating on certain people, based on, race, color, religion, sex, or a national origin. And that was the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The second one that I found was the Equal Pay Act of 1963, which basically it abolished wage disparity, but based on sex. So a man and a woman, hey, if they perform the same level and they can do the same job, they should get the same wage. That's basically what that's saying. Age Discrimination Employment Act of 1967. It forbid discrimination against anybody that's 48, the age of 40 and over in the United States. So, those three together kind of, they put a good foundation on how you yourself as a manager should conduct yourself in giving that evaluation. The conclusion: throughout time, evaluations have evolved from evaluating people's popularity to what we know now. The employee evaluations is a powerful tool that is used to develop people in their trade and to prepare them for the next level within their organizations. When used properly, it can be one of the strongest tools in a manager's lineup. By setting achievable goals and documenting milestones, you can capture a full year of performance that can then be evaluated, making this a successful program and developing people for the next step in their career. And I just kind of want to talk a little bit more about that. That's a common mistake is, people view employee evaluations as a nuisance. There's all kinds of reports. If you Google it, there's all kinds of reports out on the internet that are stating that companies are spending up to 2 million man hours during evaluation time of the year. And I think they're looking at it as a loss instead of a gain. What they don't talk about is how is that workforce being educated through those evaluations, and what are the gains from that? And who knows? I mean, people who invented high performance workshops or continuous improvement efforts in the plant, are those people that just automatically knew what to do? Or are they people that have been mentored, coached, educated? They know the process, of course, but do they know how to get the most out of the process? And that's some of that education comes from those evaluations. It's those mentors passing down their best practices to the employee. And I think by saying it's a waste of time, I think that to me is crazy. But that concludes my presentation for employee evaluations. You guys have a wonderful day.